Hey guys, how are you today? So, for those of you that may just be new to this group and may not know me, my name is Mandy McGowan. I am the Entrepreneur Finance Coach. I am with Elevating Profits, and I love focusing with business owners on the finances in their business, stepping into that CFO role, hiring the CFO, or looking at how you can increase the benefit that your business gives to you financially. So today we are talking about cash flow and why cash matters and profits don't. Now, hear me well. Profits do matter. But what I see happening is that too many business owners are putting too much emphasis on profits and not enough emphasis on their cash flow and their cash management strategies. So, what we're going to talk about today is what you need to actually be focusing on, or how you need to be focusing on your cash flow, why cash flow is more important than profits, and what are some of the things that you need to be implementing in your business in order to have a true cash management strategy in place. So I want to start with just a very, very brief explanation of why profits don't matter and cash does. So some of you may have heard my story in the past. Some of you may know that I at one point had a business doing almost $1 million in revenue with profits on paper, but I was dead broke behind the scenes. I was hemorrhaging money. I was on the verge of bankruptcy, and I truly just didn't have the money to continue to operate the business on a day-to-day basis. It got really bad really fast. And so through that experience, which has now been about 8 years ago, through that experience, I started to create systems and strategies of really focusing on the cash. Because here's the thing, profits are a vanity measurement. Profits on paper do not mean anything if there's not cash in the bank, right? If you get what I'm saying, drop cash flow in the comments. Profits do not mean anything if there's not cash in the bank. You can have profits on paper, but you can be cash poor and not have cash in the bank that's actually getting you through in the day to day. So, what I want to talk to you guys about today is how you implement a cash management strategy and what that actually looks like. So, there's a couple things when you're looking at cash flow that you want to look at. You want to look at the ins, you want to look at the outs. There's lots of ways that cash can come into our business. The most obvious way is that we have revenues. So, when your clients pay you, when money clears the bank from your merchant account or a check comes in, that is revenues, that's cash in. A couple other ways that cash can come into your bank is owner investments. So if you invest into your business, if you have a shareholder investment or an investor invest into your business, you can also get loans. That is a cash infusion into the business. So these are all things that make our cash go up. Things that make our cash go down are loan repayments when we have loans, owner payments, so whether that's owner distributions or profit payments to yourself, and then obviously our expenses. So these are ways that cash goes out and the ways that cash come in. Now, here's the thing is most business owners initially, until they start to understand the importance of cash flow, are truly operating by looking at a profit and loss. They're looking at that statement. They're being like, okay, this was my revenue. These were my expenses. That's my profit. I'm doing good. Heck yes. But what they're not looking at is the cash flow statement. The cash flow statement tells you what you have available. So ideally, when you have positive cash flow, your cash flow statement will show an increased balance month over month over month. And then that increased cash balance allows you to then be in control of financial decisions for your business. Positive cash flow allows you to decide if and when you want to invest and what that looks like in your business. Positive cash flow allows you to decide if you want to take an owner's distribution. But if you're taking owner's distributions and you're depleting that positive cash flow, that may not be the smartest use of your money. So what you want to create is cash forecasts and projections. And this is something that once you get the hang of, you'll really start to see the importance of your business. But you don't want to just create cash forecasts for this month or for next month or for the next 3 months. Ideally, you want a cash forecast that can predict out the next year of what that looks like for you, maybe even the next 2, 3 to 5 years. And so a cash forecast takes into consideration all of the things in very minute detail of what came in. And so, or of the cash management that we just talked about. So it is tracking, do you have money coming in from revenue? Do you have loans coming in? Do you have expenses that you owe that you haven't paid yet, accounts payable? Do you have accounts receivable where people owe you money, but they haven't paid yet? Because accounts receivable could, when collected, it will increase your cash. And so it looks at all of these things. Then it looks at where are you spending money? Ideally, it should break down the percentages. How much are you spending on payroll or contractor costs? What percentage of revenue are you spending on marketing? What percentage of revenue is being spent on your overhead? When you look at these things and you get very strategic within these numbers, you can actually take a look and you can dive down and look at a report and be able to say, okay, I have 2.5 months of cash in the bank account. I'm okay. Oh, I have 8.5 months of cash in the bank account. I'm good. Oh my gosh, I have 2 years of cash in the bank account. I'm good. Now I can start looking at investing in my business and maybe buying new equipment or whatever that looks like for you. But when you don't have these knowledge, what's happening is you're making financial decisions without the actual forecasting to back it up. So what I mean by that is, how many times have you looked and you've invested in a coaching program, or you've invested in a marketing program, or you've invested in a new computer or a new piece of equipment for your office, and then 2, 3, 4 months down the road, you have that moment where you might be regretting that decision because the cash isn't there. You might be having that moment where you're like, crap, maybe I shouldn't have bought XYZ. Maybe I shouldn't have paid for XYZ. Maybe I shouldn't have paid my credit card off in full. This is one I run into all the time. There are a lot of business owners who don't like carrying debt because society has made debt out to be this horrible, nasty, bad thing. Debt is simply nothing more than a choice to pay something off over time. But what happens as business owners is we see this credit card bill and we get into this moment where we think we need to pay it off, and we need to pay it off in full, and we need to do it now, if not yesterday. And so then you pay it off. And then next month you're like, oh crap, now I have to use the credit card again because I've used all my cash to pay off the credit card. So now I don't have cash to get through the month. And it creates this nasty, vicious cycle. So there are things like being very intentional about how much and when you pay your credit card that could make or break your business. If you are constantly paying everything in full and you don't have the cash to support that and get you through another month, that's not always a smart decision. If you are constantly putting things on credit card because you don't have the cash in the bank, you need to analyze and strategize your cash flow. When you are looking at cash flow from this lens and knowing that cash flow truly is the lifeblood of your business. Without cash in the bank, I hate to freaking say it, guys, but your business will not survive. It just won't. Cash is the lifeblood of your business. It does not matter how much revenue you're collecting. It does not matter how much money you are owed by clients. If you do not have cash in the bank, your business is not going to be able to make it. Now, could you go out and get loans? Yeah. Could you invest personal money in the business? Yeah. But how long are you going to be able to sustain that way? You want to be able to sustain through the positive cash flow in your business. So creating a cash flow forecast, a cash flow projection, these are the things that as business owners, we need to be doing. These are the things that if you are serious about making it in your business and you are serious about being able to make the long haul, to last for the next decade, this is the most important thing you need to be tracking. Profits are nothing more than a vanity measurement. I'll say that again. Profits are nothing more than a vanity measurement. If you talk to a business owner and they're telling you how profitable their business is, that doesn't mean anything if they are looking at the bank account and not sure how they're covering next month's expenses. You can have profits on paper and be broke. You can have profits on paper and have a business that fails. You can have negative profits. So you can operate at a loss on paper and have cash flow that's going to get you through to the next month and the month after that and the month after that. When you strategize and you prioritize having cash in your business, you will create a business that is going to sustain for the long haul. You can look out a year from now and see, where is that moment that you know what is going to hit the proverbial fan? Where is that moment where I need to look at changing? And you can get really, really strategic about what do you need to change. Does it mean that I need to make more sales? Does it mean that I need to increase my average sale? Does it mean that I need to adjust my cost of service? Do I need to look at why I have so much overhead costs? Why is that such a high percentage of my revenue? There are so many things that can be looked at, but if you don't have that cash flow forecast in place, you don't even know where to start looking. Often the answer that most entrepreneurs look at is that I need to sell more. It's not always that you need to sell more. It may just be that you need to have a higher average revenue per sale. It may be that you need to reanalyze what you're paying out for services in order to provide your service. Maybe you have contractors and they come in at a certain rate and that rate just doesn't jive with what you need done. So maybe you need to renegotiate, or maybe you need to look at bringing in contractors that are a little bit more aligned with your business model and what you can pay them and still create cash in the business. Second thing you want to look at here, and I kind of mentioned this, is your accounts receivable. This is a big piece. If you operate where clients have payments ongoing, so whether you sell a service or you sell goods and maybe your payment terms are 30 days or 45 days or 60 days, whatever that case may be, look at how can you tighten that up? Can you incentivize pay in full options? You see a lot of people doing this lately. Like, this is the pay in full price, and this is if you want to do a payment plan. If you're a service provider, a coach, a business consultant, anything like that, there is a lot of this going around where you see this is the pay in full price and this is the payment option. That's because they are incentivizing their clients to pay in full so they have cash flow. Now, here's what you don't want to do, and I see happen a lot. You don't want to incentivize people to pay in full and then not strategize for having that cash in the business. Just because somebody paid you $5,000 this month and you now have a 6-month contract or an 8-month contract or whatever that looks like with them, there are expenses that go along with continuing to deliver that for the next several months. So you don't want to take that and be like, woohoo, I got $5,000 in the bank. At the end of the month, I've got $5,000 profit. You don't want to take that $5,000 and pay off a credit card or bonus yourself the full amount. You have to strategize. Guys, this is what I do with my clients each and every day. I either work with you, depending on the size of your business, to help you create these systems and implement this for yourself. Or if you were like, nope, I just want somebody else to take this and tell me where my plugs or where my holes are in the boat and where I need to plug them up so that I stop leaking money everywhere, I can work with you in that way. So if this is something that you are hearing this and you're listening and you're going, oh crap, like, yeah, I get this. Like, I need to monitor my cash better. I need to understand this better. I need to have a better handle on this. Then why don't you reach out and let's chat? If you're interested in that, drop in the comments me, and myself or one of my team members will reach out and we'll just kind of chat with you and see how we can help you. However, whether you do that or not, here's the big thing, guys. Cash flow matters more than profits. I've said it and I've said it and I've said it, and I'll continue to say it over and over. Focus on the cash in your business. Prioritize positive cash. Having money in the bank is more important than being profitable on paper. That's truly what it all comes down to, guys. Profit is a vanity measurement and cash is what matters. So keep that in mind as you go through the next month in your business.